As darkness veiled the grandeur of Willowbrook Manor, the Anderson family, oblivious of the mansion's dark past, stepped inside their new home. The grand mansion, a recent acquisition, loomed ominously under the stormy night sky. As they ventured through the heavy double doors, a shiver of unease ran down their spines, a subtle hint of the manor's chilling atmosphere. A sense of foreboding washed over them as they crossed the threshold, unaware of the spectral residents that shared their abode. The Andersons soon found their nights punctuated by eerie whispers and spectral apparitions. It began subtly, an almost inaudible murmur brushing against their ears when they were alone, a sensation as though someone or something was always watching them. The house seemed to have a life of its own, as furniture moved of its own accord, and inexplicable cold spots appeared and disappeared. The children's laughter was replaced by hushed whispers and fearful glances. The once grand hallways echoed with an unsettling chorus of disembodied voices, their words indistinct but their tone unmistakably mournful. As the sun set, the uncanny would intensify. Shadows would dance in the corners of their eyes, forming figures that vanished when looked at directly. The most unsettling of all were the apparitions. Transparent figures, dressed in clothing from a bygone era, would wander through the house, oblivious to the living inhabitants. Each night, the house seemed to awaken, its ghostly inhabitants restless and active. Driven by fear, the Andersons delved into the manor's history, unearthing a chilling past. Their quest led them to a time when Willowbrook Manor was not a home, but an institution of despair. At the dawn of the 20th century, it served as a mental asylum, a place where society's forgotten were kept out of sight and out of mind. Its director, a man named Dr. Samuel Prescott, was a figure of dread. He was known not for his compassion or care, but for conducting cruel and inhumane experiments on the patients he was supposed to protect. His reputation was one of absolute disregard for human dignity, a legacy of torment and suffering. As the Andersons dug deeper, they uncovered the horrifying truth. The whispers they heard, the apparitions they saw, were the echoes of those who had suffered under Dr. Prescott's reign. The specters that haunted their home were the souls of tormented patients trapped within the manor's walls. As the Andersons' understanding of the manor grew, so did the spectral activity. It was as if their knowledge of the house's sordid past had awakened the spirits, emboldening them. The phantoms of Willowbrook Manor, once confined to the shadows, now paraded their anguish in the open. Each spirit was a fragment of a tormented past, a protest against the atrocities they had suffered. They were the victims of Dr. Prescott's cruel experiments, their lives cut short within these very walls. Their restlessness was palpable, their desire for justice insatiable. The once faint, eerie whispers now became deafening cries. The subtle movements of furniture escalated to violent poltergeist activity. The apparitions, once fleeting, were now a constant presence, their spectral faces a haunting reminder of the manor's past. The Andersons, once a vibrant and loving family, were unraveling as the haunting intensified. Their home, once a place of warmth and laughter, had turned into a battlefield. The once vibrant home was now a house of horrors, its inhabitants living in constant terror. Desperate for an escape, the Andersons sought help from paranormal investigators. These brave souls, armed with their knowledge and equipment, faced an ancient evil that seemed to thrive on fear and suffering. They performed rituals, attempting to cleanse the house and bring peace to the restless spirits, but it was like trying to extinguish a forest fire with a water pistol. The malevolence grew stronger, pushing them to the brink of insanity. In their darkest hour, a shocking revelation came to light. Dr. Prescott, the asylum's director, had not only committed inhumane acts, but had also dabbled in the occult, summoning dark forces to aid in his cruel experiments. The evil that resided in Willowbrook Manor wasn't merely the result of human cruelty. It was a malevolent entity, conjured into existence by Prescott's dark rituals. With this newfound knowledge, the investigators devised a plan. They knew they were up against a formidable foe, but they also knew they had one chance to break the curse. Through a selfless act of courage, they lured the entity into a final confrontation. The climactic battle was fierce, but in the end, the investigators managed to trap the malevolent entity within a sacred vessel, effectively breaking the curse that had plagued Willowbrook Manor for decades. With the entity finally trapped, peace returned to Willowbrook Manor. The Andersons, though scarred, were finally able to reclaim their home. The haunting of Willowbrook Manor had ended, leaving behind a chilling tale of horror, courage, and ultimately peace.